All right, so the only other things I forgot about, this was an old welding truck, guys. I bought it as a welding truck probably 20 years ago, and I used it for about 10 years as my main daily driver. I welded, I did steam pipe welding, but it was more like set up for structural outdoor welding. And as the welders shrunk in size, it was just easier for me to throw the welder, you know, in a regular truck or the back of my car, something like that. Anyway, this is what they came up with for oxygen and acetylene tanks to do cutting outdoors. It was pretty ingenious at the time. This truck was really set up nice. The tanks would go, I'll walk over here for a minute. The tanks had 2 holes cut in the aluminum bed, and they would just slide right in, and then they had a half-arched clamp that would just clamp it right to the back here. It's a pretty cool design. Anyway, I'm not using it for that purpose anymore. It's just gonna be for fun as a toy hauler. So I gotta cut all of this out of here. Down here, actually, now that I look at it, I might not have to cut it out. No, I will have to cut it out, because the bed drops down. I really might only have to cut off these. All right, I'm gonna figure out what's easier. Either I just cut off the top, or I just whack the whole thing out. Oh, it's just welded in a few places under there, as you can see, guys. So it's not fully welded, thank God. And that one's just got 2 pieces of what look like 2x2 coming down. So I'll probably just cut the whole thing out. Now my idea in the back here, I'm going to be extending the rear of the frame and putting in a second axle right there. It's going to become a 6x4. So I was going to unbolt all of this and then extend the frame out, whatever I need, and then put this bumper back, because I absolutely love this giant bumper they built. I put this on a little while back. I made a video of it. It was just drop down for the pintle hitch. And what I'm going to be doing is, as I've been showing you guys, that's my other cab that's getting welded to the back of this cab. It's going to almost become like a mini crew cab in the back. It's going to have a full-size door, but the doors are going to be welded shut, just so I can bring my kids when we go riding. This tank is in the way. I don't want to have to raise the cabs up, although it would probably look cool on this truck to give it a little body lift. But for now, I'm just going to be pulling this tank out of the way. I don't know what these tanks are stock, maybe 18, 20 gallons. Obviously I could Google it, but for argument's sake, we'll say it's 20. I'm going to end up doing the conversion that everybody does to the Blazer or Suburban tank in the back. I think I could get a 25 or 31. I just have to see what I could do it with the fitting for the sending unit that I have for the carbureted system, and then I have to run the new fuel lines all the way to the back, but that shouldn't be a problem. And then back to this section here, what I'm thinking about doing now is slicing the frame right here, leaving this cross member, and then figuring out my distance coming back. This they welded in on my truck. I don't know if that's the way it was from the factory or those guys added this. For all I know, this frame might have been extended. I don't think it is though. Looks stock, but looks like, going by these holes, it probably had like a cap in the back. For some reason they put this C channel laying down, which is fine. So it's definitely solid. This is also here. I'm gonna try to not have the gas tank, you know, touching the rear bumper. I want to have it in a little bit, so I'll try to keep that, maybe have that be, you know, my hold for the 2 straps, and maybe just have to take this guy out. I don't know, I'm gonna see, but I think I'm gonna try to leave all this bolted to this little piece of frame here and just cut the frame here, leave my factory end, and then just add on the distance I need for the second set of leaves. I do have the leaves. They're over there. I don't know if you guys could see my junk pile. I found a set of leaves that are roughly the same as the ones that were on here, C30 flatbed. But I'm thinking that I'm going to be way overkill for what I need. So down the line, I might just pull some of these springs out of this leaf pack here. Yeah, might end up doing that because I think my ride is going to be almost as if I don't have suspension. Obviously, if anyone's ever done this before, you guys could chime in. I don't know if many people have. Mostly doing it for the cool factor, but this truck is also absolutely terrible. Now that I cut all the welding racks off the back, I have no weight and it's an aluminum bed. These tires just spin. I did pick up a nice set of chains that I could throw on here if I ever get stuck somewhere. But I'm going to the 6x4 mainly for the cool factor, like I said, but it'll also give me, you know, semi four-wheel drive in the back. These aren't locking diffs, but you know, at least I have a little extra traction. But like I said, mainly for the cool factor. What I'm thinking is these springs are mounted outboard. I'm thinking about slightly boxing this frame in here, like a little bit forward. I'll try to show you on this side. A little bit forward of the mount for this one, so I could get the tires a little bit closer together. And if I could bring it like right under here, and I'll mount that spring under the chassis, I think that would work out really well. Bring that spring back and mount it underneath the part I'm gonna add. But I'm a long way off of that right now, guys. Like I said, I'm just gonna work on getting this frame cut off, wiring disconnected in the back, get this piece removed, pressure wash the whole thing, get the Eastwood rust converter on it, and then the ceramic chassis black, and then that buys me a little bit of time. And then next, hopefully in the very not so distant future, we're going to be cutting off the back of this cab and welding that cab onto it. But I have to remove the tank because as of right now, that cab will not go over this. The floor is going to hit it. So basically, these tanks as they are, they have the bump up in the floor. That cab still has this down in the front. So I either had to build the bump out going across, which is going to stink for someone sitting in the back. Their feet are going to be like up at their head. Or convert to the rear tank, which I wanted to do anyway. So I'm going to pull this tank out and then work on designing the spot in the back for my rear tank and running new fuel lines. All right, I'm done for now back here. I'm not going crazy with Bondo and all that kind of stuff. I just knocked the welds down, got it nice and solid, and I hit it with just some red paint I had laying around. Going aside here, that patch done. There was unfortunately a lot of Bondo on here, but it is what it is. Once I get the truck together, I'll probably Bondo that and make it look nice. In here, hopefully you guys could see, it's kind of bright, but just made it all nice and solid. And like I said before, the crew cab doors are getting welded on this, so I don't need any weather stripping or anything like that. This side, same thing. It's looking pretty good. This truck is getting rattle can black when it's done, and then I'm gonna sand it down in a few spots to kind of give that patina look. And then do some of that Poppy's hand rub on clear coat. We should be good to go. So my phone died on me yesterday and I was really in a groove. I didn't want to stop, guys. So I'm just gonna splice this in right now. I just took a couple of floor jacks, 4 of them actually, and had some of this galvanized steel tubing. I just welded it to the top of these guys here. I just put a bead on each side so I could cut them off when I'm done. I'm not gonna rely on these completely. I put my gang box underneath there in the back. I probably could have put the gang box in the middle and just balanced it because the box is so wide, but I'm going to leave my engine hoists holding it for now, but also put these 2 jacks in the front and probably 2 jacks in the back Or maybe not in the back, sorry. I just misspoke because I put the gang box back there. I'll probably just put 2 of these in the front. These things are kind of wobbly, and I don't trust these welds going down onto the cast. They welded all right. They welded actually really good, especially for this being galvanized. Whenever you're welding galvanized, guys, this is very bad to breathe. I kind of hold my breath, did a quick bead, walk away because I was trying to get this done fast. But the proper way is to sand off the galvanized, you know, like an inch back, then weld it. But remember that, okay? Anyway, just wanted to splice this in, let you know how it went. Didn't go completely perfect. At one point, I let it down too quick and I didn't realize it was over the tail light. But I got 2 new LED lights that are going on this project anyway. Clean up this wiring, should be good to go.
Did you get my boobies?
Mm-hmm. All right, so before I put on the all the chassis black and you know, rust stop and all that kind of junk, I'm trying to figure out where the other leaf springs are gonna go. So I think what I'm gonna do is build some mounts under here, get the height the same as the front mount up there, and then I'll have the spring run right next to the spring that's on the truck, and come and it'll end up you know, somewhere back here. Should be good. And what I'm doing real quick here is these were the straps with the threaded rods that were holding the bed down to the frame. I just got the rest of them here. I'm just gonna cut them, take the brackets off. I'm reusing the brackets. I couldn't get any of these to unscrew anyway, so I just had to cut them. But I'm gonna reuse the steel. I'll clean it up and I'll give it a shot of the rust preventative stuff. All right, guys and gals, we're back at it today. We put a strap in the front of the cab. As you can see, we have it on the tow dolly. I have my beautiful assistant Ashley with me here again today. She came up with the genius idea of putting some old car tires underneath. If you guys remember, I didn't put in the inner rockers on this one. We just repaired the outers, and we undercoated it. So hopefully if any water, snow, etc. gets in there, it'll just come right back out. And I'm going to cut here on my line, if you guys could see. And we're gonna hope that the whole thing doesn't flip over on top of Ashley when it's done. You got it, babe? Piece of cake? All right. All right, guys, working in baby steps here. So this is what I'm going with right now. I marked where I'm gonna cut the cab. I'm not sure if this bump up is gonna be high enough. I'm hoping that it is. I'm gonna cut this out first. I need to clear this cross member right here. Cut that out, and then I'll bring the cab in and I'll see if I get everything lined up. All right, we got all the cuts made. Grab this guy, pull it out of there, and then I'm gonna move the cab forward and see if I can get it dropped down to where I want it. I'm gonna pull these hoses off the tank just for now, and then I'm halfway done pulling the tank out. I'll get that finished up. All right, cab's looking pretty good, guys. Moving on to the back here. I'm just waiting for the Eastwood rust converter for the frame and the ceramic chassis black. I want to do that up underneath the new cab before I weld this cab on. So put that on hold for now. Have these 2 pieces of C-channel. Have one here. I've been saving both of them, sorry. This one I was thinking about using it here, but I'm actually going to cut out this piece of C-channel and use that for the back mount, and then these 2 heavier ones, that one and that one, I'm going to use to extend my frame. I believe it's It's just about the whole length of the short one that's under the cab right now. If I had to guess, maybe 30 inches or so. And I'm working on getting this monster bumper off. Man, what a pain in the butt. I got 2 of the bolts out on this side. I got these 2 monsters left to do. Might have to just torch them off. I don't know if I have a socket that big, to be honest. And then working on this side, got an adjustable wrench holding a nut. And I'm just a little at a time pulling on this guy. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. All right, guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. That took me like 2 hours. I basically had to grind every single nut and bolt. I cut with a cutoff disc as much as I could to get the heads off or the nuts off, either side, whatever I could get to. Then I took the grinding disc and I ground down the nubs, and then with just a steel bar like this and a big hammer, I kind of popped them through, and I finally got it to break free. I'm gonna see if I can knock it down to the ground right now, and then we'll figure out the seat channel. Let me see what this does here. God, that's loud. All right, let's try this side. All right, she's free. I get this bumper out of the way. Got all the electric wiring and everything disconnected. Clean up the back of this frame, and then I'll figure out C-channel extensions.